Thanks for joining us for this NT Daily News Break. I'm Kevin Pacheco. The owners are placing bright pink signs in front of the restaurant to greet customers as they enter. The signs read, "Our new surcharge, $50 if I have to explain why masks are mandatory, and $75 if I have to hear why you disagree." The owners have told the Dallas Morning News that these signs were meant as a joke, but they will actually charge customers if deemed necessary. The Denton Police Department's future substation will be located at 7111 Vintage Boulevard. In November of 2019, the city passed a proposition to allocate money for a police substation and firing range. Times have been stressful during COVID-19, so it's a great idea to get out, take a break, and mentally relax. Back to you guys at the desk. Over 100,000 businesses that were expected to shut down temporarily have closed their doors permanently due to the effects of COVID-19. Mandatory stay-at-home orders allowed only businesses deemed essential to remain open, causing businesses across North Texas to struggle. Firefighter roofing is among the few that were able to keep their doors open and thrive. Staying at home and working at home meant more time for home improvements. Firefighter Roofing has a mission statement to assist all first responders and offer work to those in need, such as those who had previously lost a job. We do all our work as a team. We work as a unit and take care of one another. When we finish our portion of the work, we help our peers and then move on to the next assignment. Since its founding in 2016, Firefighter Roofing has never experienced any pandemic or crisis such as COVID-19. They learned to adapt and follow CDC regulations to ensure safety for everyone. All paperwork is now digital, and there are no cash or check payments unless sent by mail or left outside the home. The workers must be in good health and wear facial coverings while near clients.
So the crazy thing is COVID-19 has actually increased our business. Where a lot of homeowners stayed at home, they had nothing to do, so they're like, oh, might as well do a lot of home repairs now. Gave a lot of people free time, and a lot of these home upgrades or builds happened during COVID, so we stayed very busy. We actually had a record year this year. Myself, I've been in jobs every week from 6 to 7 days out of the week.
Due to high demand, Firefighter Roofing will keep hiring and offering jobs to those in need. For NT Daily, I'm Kevin Pacheco. Due to the spread of the coronavirus, the state of Texas was forced to shut down, streets were left nearly empty, and police officers had to adjust the way they worked.
So we want to make sure that we were respectful of other people too, because nobody kind of knew what was going as far as, like the level of how dangerous it was. So we tried to make sure that we were properly wearing different protective equipment, had face masks, we're making sure that we were sanitizing, and making sure that we respected people like they would want to be respected.
Officers constantly sanitize workstations and police vehicles. An officer getting sick would have had drastic effects.
And when you get into a situation of one person contracts COVID, as I say, in the early stages of it, it was pretty much knocking out an entire shift.
Police officers would avoid unnecessary confrontations whenever possible. Some officers were more lenient with violators.
I'm sure there were probably a few officers that might not have been stopping for violations they might normally would be stopping for. They would just kind of, I've done it before where I'm driving along, you see somebody and you don't necessarily want to stop them for that, but you'll flash your lights at them, kind of honk the horn, give them a little siren beep, let them know that you're seeing what they're doing.
In the year 2019, 29% of overall traffic stops resulted in a speeding warning. During the lockdown of 2020, the number of warnings increased to 61%. Sergeant John Felty said, limiting contact was a major reason for this change.
You can write a warning much faster than you can write a citation. That's one reason. Number two, we felt like that the pandemic, there was a lot of things that were unprecedented that we were dealing with as far as people and hardship and all the things that people were dealing with. So we decided we were more concerned about correcting the behavior through, like say, a warning than we were about a citation.
In March of 2020, There were over 100 more reported speeding violations than March in the year 2021, even though there were less cars on the roads.
I do think, just from personal observation, that there were more speeders during that period of time, because people knew. I mean, it had been reported in the media, and that we were not making traffic stops. We were certainly not making as many traffic stops, and the traffic stops that we made were only if it was, kind of a gross negligence kind of a offense.
Once the public began to learn more about the coronavirus, the lockdown was lifted and more officers began to hit the streets again.
When we did kind of change our posture, once we had a better understanding of how to protect ourselves with PPE, we got back out there. I think it surprised some people when we first started making traffic stops again at the usual level.
Officers are seeing slightly more traffic than previous years as civilians are anxious to return to normal. For NT Daily, I'm Kevin Pacheco. Summit Climbing Gyms was founded in 2009 when primary owner Kyle Cleanscales and co-owners Chris Lacrosto and Stan Borodinsky bought out the Grapevine location where they had been training. Kyle was the founder and head coach of Team Texas. Stan and Chris were his students. When the trio purchased Summit Gym, their ultimate goal was to spread their lifelong love of rock climbing and build a community.
We definitely try and focus on creating a community, and the gym is kind of like a byproduct of it. For me, climbing was a very life-changing hobby to encounter. The Fort Worth gym location is right down the street from my place, and I'd climbed years before, but I came in and it was just like, I vividly remember the first time the general manager addressed me by name. And like, I remember the first competition where like I heard my name on the microphone because they knew who I was. And it wasn't because I had a name tag, it was because they knew who I was. So we definitely try and focus on the community piece.
A gym well known for its community must also ensure that members stay safe. Summit Gyms has incorporated new systems in order to enforce protocol and follow CDC regulations.
From a cleaning perspective, that's relatively easy because we have a checklist that gets published every 2 hours. We use Slack, which is a free web service for messaging. And so every 2 hours, I can check at each of the gyms on my phone and see what things got cleaned, the timestamp, the individual that cleaned it. And we've just kind of built a drumbeat where we look at that regularly. And even myself, I'm looking at specific gyms to just ensure we're maintaining that level of cleanliness.
Sanitizing spray bottles, paper towels, and sinks are on display throughout the gym so members can stay sanitized. Though cleaning and wearing a mask are strictly enforced, maintaining social distancing is more difficult to do.
You got to clean. You got to constantly clean. You got to be socially distancing for sure. I mean, it's hard because, at the climbing gym, especially in the bouldering area, it's hard for people to socially distance sometimes, especially just like our demographic, because again, and we're all friends. So whenever we're all friends, we're all going to be huddled around each other. But for us, it's like, well, we can't necessarily keep people from talking to each other and really standing next to each other. We can encourage it, but ultimately we have to keep our cleaning, just like so on lock. And then also our policies and restrictions and making sure people wear masks and things like that. Like at least that one, we have staff who are just like, somebody's wearing their mask down a little bit here. We got staff that just like instantly come to them like, hey man, just please do that.
The management at Summit Gyms are doing everything in their power to ensure Plano and their other 6 Summit locations stay open. For NT Daily, I'm Kevin Pacheco.